We're at Miller Motorsports Park for the Pirelli World Challenge Touring Car Championship finale. 6 months of planning, hard work, and hard racing all come down to this, the final weekend in the 2014 championship. When the checkered flag falls, we'll crown 3 new champions.
Revs coming up, we're green!
Big move coming off the 3.
2, 3, 4 abreast in some spots.
Side-by-side action.
He absolutely nailed it.
Three-way battle.
And we've got an incident. You would expect nothing less.
Oh, clips the inside apex.
Very racy. This is going to get into
Side, that is a brave move. What a pass. This is what World Challenge is all about.
Just a few minutes south of Great Salt Lake, Miller Motorsports Park is the scene for the final act of the 2014 Pirelli World Challenge Touring Car Championship. Welcome to the high desert of northern Utah. I'm Jeff Lepper. With me is Clark Camber. Now, Clark, we're 4,000 feet above sea level here. That's going to really affect these Pirelli World Challenge touring cars.
Yeah, Jeff, at this altitude, your horsepower is reduced and also your cooling efficiency. So we may see some of these touring cars struggle to stay cool in the desert heat. The other thing is the altitude really favors turbos. So the EMIC VWs may be quick. Also, the Kia Forte Coupes of Kia Racing, they're going to be standouts here today.
And that's going to be a key to this championship because Kia driver Jason Wolf has a 36-point lead going into this weekend in the TCA class. Wolf earned his first 2 wins of the season at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, and he went on to 2 more wins at Road America and Mid-Ohio. Shea Holbrook sat second in the TCA standings. Holbrook drew first blood in the opening round at Barber. With 5 wins to her credit, she has more wins than anyone else in TCA, but a series of driving errors and penalties have marred her season. Lurking just 39 points behind Holbrook is Ernie Francis Jr., who reignited his title hopes and went to back-to-back wins at Brainerd International Raceway. If either Wolf or Holbrook stumbles, Francis is ready to pounce. The battle is just as close in TCB, where Brian Price leads the way by just 77 points. Price dominated the first half of the season with 4 wins, but since had a hard crash at Road America, he struggled to get back up to speed. 14-year-old Nate Stacy sits second in points and has run in lockstep with Price for most of the year. Price and Stacy had a controversial incident at Brainerd, which resulted in a 3rd for Stacy and a 9th for Price, ratcheting up the pressure on both drivers heading into the final rounds. Poised in the catbird seat is Tyler Palmer. The Mini driver is just 30 points behind Stacy, and he's ready to capitalize if Stacy and Price falter. In TC this year has all been Michael DeMeo, who scored 8 wins on his way to locking up the Touring Car Championship. Michael DeMeo is now tied with Pirelli World Challenge legend P.D. Cunningham for the most single-season wins, and he's trying to break that record this weekend. He'll face stiff competition for a strong TC field, including the MX-5 of Adam Pollin, the turbocharged Jettas of EMIC Racing, and the factory Nissan Altimas of Brian Highcotter and Steve Doherty. We're going to take a break. When we come back, the lights go out for the final races of the Pirelli World Challenge Touring Car Championship. Stay tuned.
This Pirelli World Challenge broadcast is brought to you by Sunoco Race Fuels, fueling victories for 5 decades. And by Pirelli, power is nothing without control. And welcome to the Pirelli World Challenge Touring Car Nissan Championship finale, brought to you by Motul. You see our drivers suiting up for round number 14, the final race of the 2014 championship. Let's go on board for our Cadillac Key Corners with Jason Wolf and the Wolf Trucking Kinetic Motorsports Kia Forte Coupe coming down into Sunset, turn number 1. Not a lot of banking here, very flat elevation. You want to get as much curb as you can on the inside for the exit to set up for turn number 2. Coming down through the right side here, over the curb as much as you can. You don't want to drop a wheel off or you'll end up in that guardrail off to the right. Turn 3, turn 4, nice long sweepers here, flat out, no problem as you come up into high gear down the straightaway here into the Black Rock hairpin. Hard on the brakes, into the braking zone. You wait for that 3, 2, down to between the 2 and the 1 marker, hard on the brakes, down to the inside, over the curb, up to the outside. A lot of banking in this corner. You'll see a lot of guys going to the outside because if you do that, you have the advantage down here into turn number 6 to the inside part of the corner. You stay way wide here, come down, make 1 corner out of this double apex turn number 6. Off to the exit, you'll see some guys dropping some wheels off there. A lot of side-by-side racing on this track. Into turn number 7, sort of a triple apex corner here. You let the car come out, bring it back in, let it come out again, bring it back in, and let it come back out again. 3 times all the way through turn number 7. Down here into turn number 8, just a nice little sweeper here. Should be flat out as you set up for turn number 9. A hard right corner, another one of those corners that has a little bit of banking, you might be able to use that to your advantage. Come out to the edge. You don't want to drop a wheel off here because you're coming down into hard turn number 10. You stay out a little bit here on the inside, but come all the way to the outside. We'll see a lot of guys dropping some tires off in the dirt right there to the right as you come back on the straightaway, and that completes one lap for our Cadillac Key Corners here at Miller Motorsports Park, the West Circuit at Miller.
And there you see Michael Pettiford getting ready to go. Before we get started with round 14, the final race of the Pirelli World Challenge Touring Car Championship, let's take a look at what happened yesterday. Round 13 highlights. Pettiford getting the jump over Adam Poland as they head into turn 1. Pettiford would lead the field. Poland second, Steve Doherty third.
Yeah, good run from Michael Pettiford in that Pontiac Solstice. Under battle here from Adam Poland, though, was your pole sitter. Kind of got a bad start in that race, but able to recover back into the lead in that Eastex Motorsports Mazda MX-5.
And meanwhile in TCB, a huge battle between Glenn Nixon and Paul Holton. Nixon and Holton getting together. Holton somehow hangs onto that car, but that would set up this event going into turn 1. Nixon tries to defend. Holton gets into him. Both cars go around, and the Pirelli World Challenge Touring Car officials kind of frowned on this incident. Both drivers ended up getting penalized for this.
Yeah, I think it started back there in turn number 10 really is where it was, and that's what happened there. But great battle with your points leaders and championship contenders. Brian Price leading in that Car Square Honda Fit. Nate Stacey behind him in that Ford Fiesta. A battle for the lead in TCB as well as championship as Nate Stacey trying to get a run, and this really was about as close as he got all race long.
Yeah, these guys went tooth and claw all race long. Stacey got around a couple times, but just wasn't able to hold on. Meanwhile, great battle for second between Pettiford and Stephen Doherty in that Nissan, going side by side through Black Rock. And the very next lap, Stephen Doherty made it stick up the inside, and he would go on to second place in TC.
Coming down here, Carl Thompson with Stephen Doherty's teammate Brian Highcotter in the second of those two Nissan Altimas. Thompson down to the inside in the Black Rock hairpin, goes all the way to the outside, says, "This is my racing line. You may have it when I'm done." Drops a couple wheels, but it was Highcotter getting back around Thompson. These guys battled all race long.
And meanwhile in TCB, great battle between Victor Johann Schwartz, who is a winner at Brainerd, and Tyler Palmer, who's third in the TCB championship. On board with Palmer here, getting a little nudge from Victor as they come onto the straightaway. And these guys would go side by side down the front straightaway. Palmer kind of makes a little fake there. Johann Schwartz thinking about going around the outside, but that's probably not the best idea he's ever had. Meanwhile, Tyler Palmer tries an over-under move, gets the run on Victor, and gets that spot back. A little revenge for that nudge coming onto the front straightaway.
The best battle on the racetrack, however, was the battle for second in our Touring Car A category. Your points leader, Jason Wolf, Ernie Francis Jr. taking a look on the inside, not able to pass there in turn number 1. Nick Janssen in TCA in the second of the Kias, the ringer they brought in to try to secure that manufacturer's championship, was leading, but Ernie Francis Jr., Jason Wolf, battling for that second and third position all race long. You'll see Ernie Francis Jr. coming down here into the inside, trying to make a move all over the brakes in the last lap. Gets around Jason Wolf this time. I think Wolf's going to put the pedal down on that Kia, however, Clark, can go right back around Ernie Francis Jr.
Yeah, we talked about this. That's that big Kia turbo horsepower, especially at altitude. Wolf just had the advantage on the straightaways. Last lap, last corner, Ernie Francis Jr. Hail Mary move up the inside of Wolf, but would not be able to get it done. Has to pitch the corner a little bit. Meanwhile, Nick Janssen pulls off the throttle a little bit to try and let Wolf get the win. Didn't quite work out that way, but the key was that Shea Holbrook had a really tough race. You see her there. She finished 4th, and that was key for the championship as Wolf pulled out a big gap on her. Adam Poland coming home with the win in TC.
Brian Price getting our TCB win. Good job for him. Looking at our touring car points, Michael DeMille locked in the championship, but the battle for second between Poland and Carl Thompson still there. Looking at our TCA points, Jason Wolf, Shea Holbrook. That's huge for Wolf in the championship. Now 66 points separates those two drivers.
And in TCB, Brian Price pulling out just a little bit more of a gap on Nate Stacey. That was key for him. We have to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have the final round of the Pirelli World Challenge Touring Car Championship.
This Pirelli World Challenge broadcast is brought to you by HPD, Honda's North American Racing Company. And by the Fiat 500 Abarth, small but wicked.
The championship this year has been brutal. It's been tough. It's been extremely competitive.
Winning the Pirelli World Challenge Championship, it would mean a lot to me. It would help a lot, being able to give me more momentum to move into the next season.
I don't need to lead every lap. There's only one lap that pays. I'd rather race one car at the end, 2 cars at the end, than 5 cars at the end.
This sport is so fueled off of emotion and passion. You know, that is something that runs very, very rapid in my veins.
It's what we've been pushing for all year. Winning this championship this year would just mean everything to me and the team.
Brian's the championship leader. I'm really close behind him. I can't allow someone to get in between me and him.
I want to win every race. That's my goal, and I don't points race. I know what points I am with the other drivers, but I don't do where I need to finish this race, that race, or what have you. I go for the win.
I gotta win. I mean, I don't have to on paper, but for me, like in my mind, I just have to win.
Well, you can really hear the emotion from those drivers as they're getting suited up for the final round. We'll see how this championship plays out. Take a quick look at our Motul Pole Award winners in our touring car category. Based on fastest race lap yesterday, it was your winner, Adam Poland, in that East Tech Motorsports Texas Trackworks Mazda MX-5.
And in TCA, it was the ringer Nick Janssen coming over from GTS to steal the pole from the TCA regulars in his Kia Forte Coupe.
In our TCB category, had an epic battle with points leader Brian Price, but it was 14-year-old Nate Stacy in his Ford Fiesta getting that Motul Pole Award in the TCB category.
And now for the Command to Start engines, Jay Schaefer from Nissan.
On behalf of Optima Batteries, Pirelli Tire, and the Nissan dealers nationwide, racers, start your engines.
Well, exciting stuff as these cars get ready to go. Let's look at our grid in our touring car class. On the pole, once again, Adam Poland in that East Tech Motorsports Mazda MX-5. Steve Doherty in the Nissan Altima starts in second. In third, it's Brian Highcotter, the second of those 2 Nissan Altimas, and Carl Thompson in his Honda Civic. Fred Emick in the Volkswagen Jetta GLI starts 5th, Michael DeMio in 6th. Steve Burns, we talked about those 2 Pontiacs, Michael Pettiford in 8th as well. Emily Tomanovich rounds out the field in 9th.
And in TCA, as we mentioned, Nick Janssen on the pole in his Kia Forte Coupe. Ernie Francis Jr. will start alongside in his Mazda MX-5. Starting third, Jason Wolf in the second Kia Forte Coupe. And Jason Cherry, Mike Skeen is actually taking over Shea Holbrook's ride, starting in 5th.
In our touring car B-Spec, Nate Stacy, the kid, the Ford Fiesta on the pole. Brian Price, your points leader, starts in second in his Honda Fit. Starting in third, it's Andre Kiesel, his best start of the year. Johann Schwartz starts 4th. In 5th, it's Jason Fichter, great run yesterday, and PJ Gronke starts in 6th. 7th, that's Tyler Palmer, Mr. Excitement. Nick Dunsty starts in 8th. Tom Noble in 9th in his Mini, and Leo Parente, the charity car in that Fiat 500 in 10th. Paul Holton and Glenn Nixon start 11th and 12th based on that accident yesterday.
Now taking a look at our Pirelli storylines, thin air. We mentioned this. We're at 4,000 feet above sea level. Air is very thin up here. That's going to favor the turbos, and it's going to hurt cooling on these cars. The switch, Mike Skeen has taken over Shea Holbrook's TCA Honda. Holbrook took a look at the Drivers' Championship point standing. She said, you know what? Chances are I'm not going to win the Drivers' Championship, but we can still go after a Manufacturers' Championship for Honda. So she graciously stepped out of that car and put in Pirelli World Challenge GT standout Mike Skeen to try and bring home that championship. Finally, all the marbles. When we look at this track, there is gravel and dirt everywhere. When the cars go off, they're going to drag that stuff onto the racetrack. It's going to make for visibility issues. It's also going to make the racetrack really slippery. We're going to have to watch out for that.
And we look at our Motul race analysis. We're here in the upper plain desert of Utah at Miller Motorsports Park. We're running the West Circuit's 2.2 miles, 10-turn road course, and we're looking at a 40-minute timed event from a standing start to the checkered flag.
And our Motul braking zone is right here, heading into turn 1, hard on the binders, key passing point on this racetrack.
Yeah, going to see some great action down into the sunset turn number 1. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we come back, the final race of the 2014 Pirelli World Challenge Touring Car Championship.
This Pirelli World Challenge broadcast is brought to you by
Grassroots Motorsports, the hardcore sports car magazine. Subscribe today. By Optima Batteries. With up to 3 times the life and 15 times the vibration resistance, Optima batteries really are the ultimate power source. And by Ford. Go further. And welcome back to the Pirelli World Challenge Nissan Championship finale, brought to you by Motul. Cars are on the grid, ready for the green as we take a look at our Kia Quad Box. Some great onboard shots from our GoPro Hero cameras. Lights go on, they go out, we go green. Racing for round number 14, waiting for those lights to go out. And we're green. There's the launch. Stephen Doherty and his Nissan Altima over Adam Poland right now in the touring car class. They're your front row. It looks like the big monster V6 torque out of that Nissan Altima going to get the better of Adam Poland down here into turn number 1.
Stephen Doherty takes over the lead. Mike Pettiford coming from dead last. He had a really good launch. He goes side by side with Carl Thompson. Oh, and Poland is slowing. Poland is on the outside going into turn 2. He is going slow.
Oh, on board now. Look at the shot here. His driver perspective from that GoPro camera right down to the inside. Sounds like he's still got power. Not sure what the problem is.
And that car is definitely off song. That is going to hand over second to Fred Emick in that VW. Carl Thompson third, followed by Michael DeMeo in fourth. DeMeo currently tied with Pirelli World Challenge legend Peter Cunningham for the most race wins in a season. If he can pick up one more, he will also pick up the record. But he's been kind of off song all weekend, kind of struggling here, Jeff.
Yeah, on board with his teammate and team owner, Carl Thompson, in this Honda Civic. They had motor problems in DeMeo's car yesterday, changed it. He's back underway, still not up to speed. Doesn't look like he has a chance to break that record today.
So we go on board with Carl Thompson heading into turn 7, trying to chase down Fred Emick. Oh, and Ernie Francis Jr. started second in TCA. Looks like he broke as well. Now we go on board with Jason Cherry, who runs 4th in TCA, just behind that Honda of Mike Skeen.
Yeah, trying to run down Mike Skeen. You see the 2 Kias up in front. Nick Janssen over Jason Wolf, trying to secure that manufacturer's championship. With Shea Holbrook out of the seat, that pretty much hands the championship to Jason Wolf. But the championship that matters, the manufacturers, the guy who pays the bills, Honda versus Kia. Jason Cherry to the outside of Mike Skeen through turn number 10. Boy, can he make an outside pass over Mike Skeen? He does it. That's got to be a good feather in the cap there, Clark.
That's something to brag to your friends about, but Skeen is not done. He's going to use that big Civic horsepower to power up the inside. Shuts the door on Cherry going into turn 1. Cherry is not done, but he's relegated back to 4th. Gives Skeen a little bit of a nudge as they come out of turn 1, trying to close the gap.
Yeah, good battle between those 2 drivers. 4th, 3rd in our TCA category. There's the gap. Jason Cherry, Mike Skeen, and then Jason Wolf and Nick Janssen leading in the TCA class.
Mike Skeen just got a few laps this morning in the warm-up and then went racing. He is looking very racy here today. Now we move back to the TCB battle. Looks just like yesterday, Jeff. Brian Price out in front. Second in the championship is Nate Stacey. Looks like Price got balked just a little bit by Emily Tomanovich. Stacey has a run.
Yeah, down to the inside here. Who's going to break first? Will it be Price or Stacey? Down into the black rod Higpin. It is Price, but Stacey, oh, a little too much. He goes right to the outside and loses first place. There goes Johann Schwartz for second. Andre Kiesel for third. He's falling way back, Clark.
Man, that was a costly move by Nate Stacey. Went up the inside, did not make it stick. Overcooked the corner a little bit. Now on board with Tyler Palmer. Palmer is third in the championship, just behind Stacey, but he does not want to be behind Stacey on the racetrack. Forces it up the inside of Fichter, 3 wide going into turn 7, hand 4th back over to Tyler Palmer, 6th to 4th in 1 corner.
Yeah, but how about 2nd to 6th for Nate Stacey? Not what he wanted to have happen in that championship battle, all the way back to 6th place on that mistake down there in turn number 5. On board with Fred Emick, as you see Michael Pettiford making a pass down into turn number 1, looks to the inside. Got to give a huge thank you to Michael Pettiford and his Go For It Racing schools out of Colorado, providing his spare car to President and CEO of SCCA Lisa Noble for charity childhood leukemia for the fight for Maxton's fight. Max Pearl inflicted with that terrible disease. Quick look back at our TCB battle.
Brian Price leads, Johann Schwartz second, Andre Kiesel having a really good run in third, Tyler Palmer fourth. These guys kind of settling in for a long race. 40 minutes of racing for these TCB competitors.
Yeah, Brian Price picked up a new sponsor, Carsquare.com, once again at Brainerd, and he rewarded them yesterday with a win, extending that points championship. Can he do it here again? Double up at Miller Motorsports Park. I think, Clark, that'd be a pretty good way to end your championship season.
Brian Price really showing us why he's leading this championship this weekend. Really performed well yesterday. He's been very quick today. Folks, we have to take a quick break. Steve Doherty leads the way over Michael Pettiford in TC. Stay with us.
This Pirelli World Challenge broadcast is brought to you by
Audi, truth in engineering. Visit AudiUSA.com or schedule a test drive today. By Chevrolet, find new roads. And by the Bob Bondurant School of High Performance Driving, internationally recognized as a leading authority in driver training for 46 years. And welcome back to the Pirelli World Challenge Nissan Championship finale, brought to you by Motul. The battle in our TCB class is getting hot and heavy. Battling here in our TCB on the inside, Johann Schwartz over Brian Price down into the Blackrock hairpin. Can he make the pass? And he does it. Looks like Brian Price sort of gave him that line there, Clark.
Yeah, Brian Price showing the patience of a championship. Lets Johann Schwartz go. It's a long race. He knows he has plenty of time left. And he tucks right back in. Doesn't lose too many spots. Tucks right back into second. And he's on the attack, trying to catch back up to Schwartz.
We've seen Brian Price do this a lot. He'll able to give that position, but stay right there and try to battle back. A long race here, 40 minutes. Got plenty of time to get it done. Third place, Andre Kiesel on that Racing.ca, LaptopScreen.com Mini Cooper. We talked about him having his best finish yesterday, best qualifying in third today, running in third again.
Yeah, and Jeff, you can hear the gravel banging up under the under tray in the car as he goes through the corner. That's what we talked about. When you go off here, you drag gravel and dirt onto the racetrack, and you can hear it when these guys run over it. It's banging around underside the car. Now on board with Schwartz, you hear the rev limiter there, heading into turn 10.
Yeah, some great onboard shots from these GoPro Hero cameras. You get a true driver perspective, get to see exactly what Brian Price is looking at.
Now transitioning back to the battle for third. Carl Thompson and Fred Emick, old sparring partners. They went at it at Brainerd. They've raced together a long time. Carl Thompson trying to make the pass, trying to get on the podium over Fred Emick.
Yeah, you come onto the inside of the Blackrock hairpin, and it puts you onto the inside of turn number 6 for Fred Emick. Not able to make the pass. Good run from Carl Thompson, getting around that Volkswagen Jetta GLI. Right in front of these two guys, you see that Fiat 500 out there in the distance. That's Leo Parente. Got to give a huge thank you to Gary Johnson at SRT and Fiat, providing this Fiat 500 all season long in Pirelli World Challenge, all going for charity. So we really appreciate that, and good job by Leo Parente stepping into this car, doing both races here this weekend.
Yeah, and it's just interesting when we ride on board with Emick to see the differences in lines between these two cars. They're both front-wheel drive cars, but you know, that Honda and the VW take very, very different lines. We see Fred Emick taking a look up the inside of Carl Thompson, not able to get it done as those cars bicycle over the curbs onto the front straightaway one more time.
Yeah, it's interesting to play out the normally aspirated Honda Civic versus the turbocharged Jetta. A little bit more torquey as the Jetta, so I think he gets a better line. On board with Andre Kiesel as he's getting a good run through turn number 4, turn number 5. Brian Price drops a couple of wheels off. It's down to the inside. It's going to be a battle of the braking zone again down here into the Blackrock hairpin. Andre Kiesel over Brian Price, now on board with Price into the braking zone as you see, wow, Michael Pettiford in touring car coming up through this battle for the lead in TCB.
Yeah, Johann Schwartz saw Pettiford just at the last second, kind of messed up Schwartz. That could have been huge, but Schwartz hung on to it. Andre Kiesel up into second. Brian Price third now. And Brian Price has kind of a delicate dance here. He wants a good finish, but he knows Nate Stacey is behind him right now in the championship. He cannot afford an accident. He has to finish this race. So he wants to race hard, but if he races too hard, he could risk it all.
Well, the guy behind him, too, Tyler Palmer, in that thepaintersfriend.com Mini USA, Mini of Charleston, Mobile One Mini Cooper, is also in the championship in third, has an outside mathematical shot at this championship, especially if Brian Price and Nate Stacey have a problem.
Yeah, and this is the closest Tyler Palmer has been all race long, slowly inching up on these 3 lead cars. Tyler Palmer trying to get that Mini of Charleston Mini into the mix.
Yeah, on board here, you hear that rev limiter once again of Johann Schwartz. Andre Kiesel getting a great run out of turn number 10 onto the straightaway. These guys do make a big hole in the air. They can get a draft down this long front stretch here at Miller Motorsports Park on the West Circuit.
You can see Jason Fichter there popping out into the air a little bit. I wonder if maybe he's got a bit of overheating. We talked about that, the thin air here at Miller. Cars don't cool very well when you're tucked up in the draft like these TCB cars are all the time. Sometimes the engine starts to overheat. You just got to tuck out, get a little bit of air to the radiator, and you can tuck right back in again. Meanwhile, we're talking about Nate Stacy. He was back in 6th. Now he's worked his way up into 5th, just a couple car lengths back from this lead pack, trying to run them down. Now we move back to Fred Emick, who's trying to run down Carl Thompson.
Yeah, Thompson to the outside of the Mini there of Glenn Nixon as he's trying to recover from that starting space. Fred Emick getting a good run over Carl Thompson down here to the inside. Thompson feeling the pressure. Oh, and he makes contact with Fichter. Fichter to the outside. Can Emick pounce on that? And he will. To the outside of Carl Thompson to drag race down into turn number 6.
Yeah, that was huge for Fred Emick. Able to get the pass back from Carl Thompson. We have to take another break. Stay with us.
This Pirelli World Challenge broadcast is brought to you by
Mazda, who reminds you that conviction, courage, and creativity are the Mazda way. And by the new Mini, the new original.
Welcome back to the Pirelli World Challenge Nissan Championship finale, brought to you by Motul at Miller Motorsports Park. And here is a huge scrum of cars. Michael DeMeo and then the TCB leaders. Brian Price taking a look up the inside. Andre Kiesel not going to get it done, and Price goes wide there. That hurt Price quite a bit, Jeff.
Yeah, I just saw Nate Stacy got around Tyler Palmer as well. So 1 and 2 in the championship are running 3rd and 4th now in the TCB class. It's not over as Jason Wolf dropping a couple tires off. He's desperately trying to pull a lead over his teammate Nick Janssen, but I got to think maybe Nick's sort of playing the protector there, trying to get that manufacturer's championship for Kia.
And this is Key on board with Nate Stacy. He is just behind his championship rival. Price ducks over to grab a bit of a draft from Janssen, heading into Black Rock Hairpin. Stacy trying to close, trying to make up the ground that he lost early.
Yeah, Brian Price over Nate Stacy. You see Andre Kiesel up ahead over Johann Schwartz, continuing to lead in the TCB category. It looks like all that lap traffic is now played out. These guys can start getting back nose to tail, try to close those gaps up to the lead group here. That's the best thing Nate Stacy can do, is get right on the back bumper of Brian Price, try to run down those 2 leaders in TCB.
And there they are right there. Johann Schwartz over Andre Kiesel. Schwartz won a couple of races at Brainerd, did a great job there. Also really quick here. Kiesel having the best run to date of his Pirelli World Challenge career. He's trying to pick up his first win.
Yeah, looking down to the inside here. Can he put a nose in over the curb? Not able to make the pass there, but putting the pressure on Johann Schwartz is Andre Kiesel. He had a huge accident at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, got that car fixed. Ironically enough, it was Brian Price's Unlimited Auto Body Shop that fixed that car. It's back underway now. Is on board with Michael DeMeo. Looks like the rear bumper of Carl Thompson starting to fall off. You get a good shot of that GoPro Hero camera on the back bumper of Carl Thompson's car as Michael DeMeo maybe just trying to run over it again, rip it off. You don't want to get a black flag here.
Yeah, Michael DeMeo right up behind Thompson.
Oh, there it goes. It fell off. And you got to be careful here. If you run over that rear bumper, you don't want to get a puncture on one of these Pirelli P0 tires. Is that the rear bumper on the front of Michael DeMeo cars, Clark?
Yeah, it looks like DeMeo just caught the bumper on his nose, and he's slowing down now. He must feel that something's a little bit wrong with the car. He's going to let these TCA leaders by. So we head into Black Rock Hairpin. I wonder if the bumper's going to fall off when they get under braking. Yeah, there it goes right there.
Just slides right off. That's probably the best thing that could have happened for him. A lot of overheating problems if you block that, as Michael DeMeo gets around Carl Thompson on the exit of the Black Rock Hairpin. Carl Thompson probably wants to recover over his teammate as they're battling for that 3rd position in TC.
And there's the bumper right there. Now, they were showing Thompson the meatball, which is a black flag with a red dot on it, which means you have a mechanical problem, you have to come in. Now, I got to wonder, Jeff, since that bumper fell off, will they pull that meatball back in?
It'll be interesting to find out if the SCCA Pro Racing officials do that as we go on board with Nick Janssen. We talked about bringing the ringer in here, was that Kinetic Motorsports team. Nick Janssen competes in that Kia Optima in the GTS category, also trying to secure that manufacturer's championship for Kia in GTS. But Jason Wolf over his teammate Nick Janssen down here in the braking zone, going to make a race out of it, Clark, no matter what the outcome's going to be.
Yeah, I think these guys, they know the Drivers' Championship is pretty well locked up with Shea Holbrook, and so they're going to have a good time racing here. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens. And we see Michael DeMeo closing back up on these guys now that he got the bumper off the front of his car. He's going to try and work his way back around these TCA leaders, but, DeMeo's being a gentleman here. He doesn't want to mess up their race.
Well, he's already clinched the Touring Car Championship as well. No reason to go up there and mess up their championship in the TCA class. Going back to our touring car leader, Stephen Doherty. We haven't talked much about him in that Skull Candy GT Academy Nissan Altima, and that's because he's sort of put a tattoo on this touring car class down here into turn number 1, that Nissan Altima on the rail today, Clark.
And fittingly, the Pirelli World Challenge Nissan Championship finale is being led by a Nissan. Well, we have to take another break. When we come back, more racing from Miller Motorsports Park. Stay with us.
This Pirelli World Challenge broadcast is brought to you by BRM, timepieces built with pure racing spirit. And by Eibach, the world leader in high-performance suspension.
And welcome back to the Pirelli World Challenge Nissan Championship finale at Miller Motorsports Park, brought to you by Motul. Battling now with Tyler Palmer and Nate Stacey, 4th and 5th in the TCB classes. Nate Stacey dropped back a little bit. Tyler Palmer getting around him for 4th.
Yeah, both of them dropped back a bit. Nate Stacey did have 4th. Tyler Palmer got him back around, and both of them just kind of being gapped by the top 3 right now. And Nate Stacey looks like he's got a bit of a run, tucked right up underneath that Mini. Going to try and use maybe a little bit of a superior horsepower. Taking a look to the inside, heading into Black Rock Airpit.
It's going to be a battle of the braking zone down here to turn number 5 again. Nate Stacey ahead of Tyler Palmer. Gets it right this time. Oh, and he doesn't. Actually slides that car sideways. Tyler Palmer back to the inside. The second mistake Nate Stacey's made down there in Black Rock, Clark.
Yeah, Tyler Palmer's becoming the master of the over-under move. Palmer says thank you very much, tucks back up the inside, and you saw how much that hurt Stacey. Cars are a little bit more spread out right now, so he didn't lose all the spots he did on lap 1, but basically the same mistake twice, Jeff. You see, when he tries to make that pass, rather than staying right next to Palmer and in line, he dives to the inside on the turn-in, and that screws up his line when he gets down in the corner, and he just slides wide. So a little bit of learning, I think, for Nate Stacey, just to learn how to make that pass stick in that corner.
Yeah, not a problem. His Tyler Palmer dropping just a couple wheels slightly off. That's allowed Nate Stacey to come right back in. I expect Nate Stacey to really develop his racecraft here in the coming years and be a champion in Pirelli World Challenge.
Stacey trying to close back up on Palmer. Oh, you see Palmer going a little bit wide there as they come onto the straightaway.
On board with Nick Janssen and Jason Wolf up in front of him, the 2 Kia Forte Coupe team cars. The Wolf Trucking Kia Forte of Wolf in front, Nick Janssen, Kinetic Motorsports in 2nd place, battling for that overall TCA leader. 70% of our race distance has been completed now, and with Shea Holbrook once again not driving her Honda Civic, that pretty much hands the driver championship over to Jason Wolf, of course barring any driver penalties or technical infractions, which I highly doubt is going to happen, Clark.
Yeah, when we talk about the 70% rule, the deal is that if you complete 70% of the laps, even if the car broke right now, it would still be counted as a finish, and so Wolf would still get points for it. That was really key for him. He just needed a finish here today. So he has that locked up. Now it gives these guys a chance to go ahead and race. And, they're having fun. They're going to have a good time. They're teammates. But this is also important for Wolf because he's looking towards the future. He's looking towards next year. He hopes to be maybe driving a GTS Kia Optima someday, and he wants to show that he has the chops to race against his team owner, Nick Janssen.
Well, the guy that's driving that Kia Optima sitting in second, Jason Wolf's ahead of him, so if you put 2 and 2 together, great run from Jason Wolf here. Great shot there as you see that Kia Forte Coupe loading up that right front tire, coming down out of turn at number 4 into the Black Rock hairpin of turn number 5. Nick Janssen trying to close that gap over his teammate. The 2 Kia Forte Coupes nose to tail, 1-2 in their TCA category. Good run through turn number 5. Off to the exit. Oh, it looks like Jason Wolf's running a little wide off into the dirt. He falls off the edge of the course there, Clark.
Yeah, Wolf just went a little bit wide there, maybe feeling the pressure a little bit from Nick Janssen, but he recovered nicely. You noticed he tucked right back in. He's right on Janssen's tail, so it's not going to hurt him too much. But that was a mistake there, and he did lose the lead. Now we got to take another break. When we come back, the final laps of the final race in the Pirelli World Challenge Touring Car Championship.
This Pirelli World Challenge broadcast is brought to you by Recaro Premium Automotive Seats. Experience the difference. By GoPro, maker of the versatile Hero line of cameras. By Nissan, innovation that excites.
And welcome back to the Pirelli World Challenge Nissan Championship finale, brought to you by Motools. We're on board with Johann Schwartz. During our break, Andre Kiesel got around him for the lead. Now, battling into the sunset corner, you'll see Johann Schwartz here hard on the brakes as he comes into turn number 1, trying to put the battle to Andre Kiesel.
Now, Johann Schwartz led most of the race, wants it back, trying to close up on Andre Kiesel, that Racing.ca car in the lead. Best race Andre Kiesel has had all year, trying to close out the season with a win, but Johann Schwartz is not done, closing up as they head through Scream.
Yeah, coming in through turn number 4 now onto the straightaway. Stephen Doherty getting the white flag in that Skull Candy GT Academy Nissan Altima. 1 lap to go for your TC leader.
And here comes Johann Schwartz, dives up the inside into Black Rock hairpin. They will go side by side through the banking on Black Rock. Andre Kiesel fighting back around the outside, just behind them, Brian Price.
Yeah, on board with Johann Schwartz. Andre Kiesel has the advantage. The inside of turn number 6, he's going to hold it tight. Johann Schwartz making a good arc through that corner, getting a great run. Oh, and he doesn't go back to the inside. I thought he was going to go back to the inside there. Stays to the outside, trying to make an outside pass into turn at number 7. Oh, and he slams the door over Kiesel.
Wow, that was a huge move by Johann Schwartz. Good job on Kiesel's part. Kiesel could have taken him out right there. Wisely backed off just a little bit. He will know now. They will have heard on their radio that this is heading into the final lap. When they come around, they will see the white flag. Kiesel trying to close back up on Johann. He's going to have maybe 1 or 2 more chances to do it. Brian Price is lurking.
Yeah, these guys get side by side once again. Watch for your championship leader in the TCB class to make a move. Andre Kiesel, 2 wheels, bicycling it through turn number 10, off to the outside. There's Brian Price dropping some tires off, pushing it to the limit for your leaders in TCB.
1 lap to go for Johann Schwartz. Kiesel trying to close the gap. Schwartz, multi-time race winner. Kiesel going for his first win in the final round. That is Mike Skeen just behind him. Not really in a battle right now. Skeen just trying to work these guys, his way around these guys without messing them up. But that could factor into this battle. Just a couple corners left.
Yeah, on board with Stephen Doherty now as he comes across the finish line. Your touring car race winner in the Skull Candy GT Academy Nissan Altima.
And here we go into Black Rock hairpin one more time. This is Kiesel's opportunity. Gets a good run, but Mike Skeen is there. Will Kiesel pop out? Here he goes. Here comes Kiesel. Skeen backs off. Kiesel up the inside, trying to make it stick. Johann Schwartz runs defensive. Kiesel not able to make the pass stick. Just a couple corners left. They go side by side coming out of Black Rock.
Yeah, you talked about that in our Cadillac Key Corners, that banking. And Andre Kiesel tried to use that as we go on board with Jason Wolf, trying to make an outside pass for the TCA lead. Nick Janssen not giving him much room there. No love lost between the 2 teammates in TCA.
Yeah, Janssen shutting the door on Wolf. Wolf will now try and go around the outside of our TCB leaders, but he's going to get held up a bit on the outside, not able to get it done. Kiesel on the inside, and that's going to hurt Wolf as they head into these final corners. Kiesel still just behind Johann Schwartz. 2 corners left. There goes Wolf. Kiesel trying to close the gap.
Oh, Adam Poland recovering now, coming back behind Jason Wolf, splits those two leaders in our TCB class. Going to be devastating to Andre Kiesel. He's got to do it down the braking zone at turn number 10.
3 wide into the final corner. Schwartz hanging on just behind Wolf. Wolf is trying to close up on his teammate, coming down to the line. Here we are. Here's the checkered flag.
Oh, and it's a drag race in the TCA class. Wolf got a better run out of 10, and he does it. Gets the win in TCA. Jason Wolf over Nick Janssen.
Brilliant drive by Jason Wolf, and Johann Schwartz will take home the TCB win. Congratulations to those drivers. When we come back, we'll have their interviews.
This Pirelli World Challenge broadcast is brought to you by StopTech, championship-winning brake components and systems for racing cars and high-performance vehicles on the street or track. StopTech, brake late, finish first. And by RaceKeeper, the industry's leading video data logger. Make your next lap your best lap with RaceKeeper.
And welcome back to Tooele, Utah for the Pirelli World Challenge Nissan Championship finale, brought to you by Motul. Now we're going to head down to Jeff Lepper, who's caught up with our TC winner, Steve Doherty.
So Steve Doherty, able to get your second win of the year, last win of the race. You'll be all season long as the last winner of World Challenge and TC.
Yeah, that's awesome. I got to give this one to the team, though. They've been running on like 1 to 3 hours of sleep every night, just busting their butts on these cars. It's Nissan's, sponsored race, so I couldn't think of a better way to end the season.
So Steve Doherty taking the final touring car win of the 2014 Pirelli World Challenge Touring Car Championship. Michael Pettiford finishes a strong second. Fred Emick third. Michael DeMio fourth. Adam Poland fifth. Emily Tomanovich sixth. Steve Burns seventh. Carl Thompson eighth. And Brian Highcotter in ninth. Now Jeff is caught up with our TCA winner, Jason Wolf.
So Jason Wolf, 1-2 for Kia. You capped your championship off with a win today.
Yeah, we did what we had to do. Had to come here, had to finish the race, period. So it ended up working out that people had some misfortune. That sucks, but we came out with a win, and that made things that much better. Finish off the season with a win. So another 1-2 for Kia, and it's a good day.
So congratulations to Jason Wolf on the race win and the championship win for that young man. Nick Janssen comes home second. Jason Cherry brings his MX-5 home in third. Mike Skeen fourth, and Ernie Francis Jr. is fifth. One more time, back to Jeff Lepper, who has our TCB winner, Johann Schwartz.
So Johann Schwartz, your third win on the season, not in a row, but way to go to close out the year.
Well, I tell you what, that was an unbelievable race here at the end. We had some good drafting out there, and the car just hooked up very nicely. And I was running there behind Kiesel for a little while, trying to see what he was going to do, maybe overdriving the tires a little bit. So I just stayed duck for a little while and got him with an over and under kind of pass, late apex, and we went into the triple apex. And hats off to Andre for racing me really clean, and congratulations to Brian Price for winning the championship. He's been a great help. We worked ever since we came here for the test day. American Diabetes is behind this whole thing, American Honda and Promotex. I think it's phenomenal final end of race today.
Johann Schwartz, your TCB winner by just 0.4 of a second over Canadian Andre Kiesel. Brian Price third, Tyler Palmer fourth, Nate Stacy fifth, Glenn Nixon sixth, Jason Fichter seventh, PJ Gronke eighth, Leo Parente ninth, and Paul Holton rounds out the top 10. In the final Touring Car Championship point standings, Michael DeMio wins the championship with 1,573 points. Carl Thompson ekes out second over Adam Poland, Steve Doherty fourth, and Fred Emick is fifth. HPD wins the Touring Car Manufacturers Championship, followed by Nissan and Fiat Chrysler in third. Now Jeff is caught up with our championship winner, Michael DeMio, in pit lane.
It's an unreal feeling. We had probably one of the best seasons I've had in my career. And they don't come too often, so we have to enjoy them. This weekend we had a little bit of car problems, which kept us from driving up front, but I still enjoyed every minute of it. The last lap was special. I got to thank everyone who makes this happen, all my sponsors, especially this weekend CTF. There's a special kid, Travis. I'm going to dedicate my on-track performance today to him. He deserves it. He's a great kid.
Jason Wolf is the 2014 Touring Car A champion, followed by Shea Holbrook in second, Ernie Francis Jr. third, Jason Cherry fourth, and Russell Smith rounding out the top 5. Kia and HPD tied for the TCA Manufacturers Championship point standings, but Kia, by dint of the most wins, gets the championship. HPD second, Fiat Chrysler and Nissan tied for third. And Brian Price will take home a well-deserved Touring Car B championship, followed by Nate Stacey, Tyler Palmer, Paul Holton, and Jason Fichter. HPD is your Touring Car B Manufacturers Champion. Mini is second, Chevrolet third, Mazda fourth, Fiat Chrysler fifth, and Nissan sixth. Now we're going to head back down to Jeff Lepper, who has Touring Car B-Spec champion Brian Price.
This has been a storybook year, from the highs at the beginning of the year to win second places to a crash at Road America, coming back, having a little contact during the year, and being able to win this weekend, third place today in the championship.
Johann Schwartz is the StopTech Brake Late Finish First Award winner for his pass on the final lap in TCB. Glenn Nixon is the Sunoco Hard Charger Award winner for making the most passes over the course of the race. And Glenn Nixon also gets the Optima Batteries Best Standing Start Award for passing the most cars on the first lap. Johann Schwartz's pass for the lead is the Cadillac CTS-V move of the race. And the Kia turning point of the race was also Johann Schwartz's final lap pass. Steve Doherty is the Motul Fast Lap Award winner in TC. Nick Janssen is the Motul Fast Lap Award winner in TCA. And Johann Schwartz is the Motul Fast Lap Award winner in TCB. Well, it was a pleasure to bring you great Pirelli World Challenge touring car racing all year long. On behalf of Jeff Lepper, I'm Clark Camber. Thanks for watching us on MAVTV. We'll see you in 2015.